You wake up every morning chasing more money, more recognition, more followers, more success. But what if I told you that the most powerful man in history, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, believed your ambitions were destroying you? This isn't about becoming passive or giving up your dreams. This is about understanding why the philosopher-emperor who commanded legions and ruled an empire spanning 3 continents wrote in his private journal, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Marcus Aurelius didn't reject ambition because he was weak. He rejected it because he understood something about human nature that we've forgotten. Today, we're going to explore why the most powerful man of his age chose philosophy over endless pursuit, and how his wisdom can transform your relationship with success. Consider Sarah, a marketing executive I know. She spent 5 years climbing the corporate ladder, working 60-hour weeks, sacrificing relationships, all for the next promotion. When she finally reached the director level she dreamed of, she felt empty. The goalposts had simply moved further away. Sound familiar? Marcus Aurelius understood this trap intimately. In his Meditations, he wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself." This wasn't philosophical speculation. This was hard-won wisdom from someone who could have pursued any pleasure, any achievement, any recognition imaginable. But here's what most people misunderstand about Aurelius and Stoicism. He wasn't advocating for mediocrity or lack of effort. He was distinguishing between 2 fundamentally different types of ambition: ego-driven striving and purpose-driven action. Ego-driven ambition is what dominates our culture. It's the endless hunger for external validation, likes, promotions, possessions, status symbols. It's ambition that depends on comparison, on beating others, on accumulating more than you need. Marcus saw this clearly 2,000 years ago. He observed how senators would scheme and backstab for fleeting power, how wealthy merchants would hoard gold while remaining spiritually bankrupt. Purpose-driven action, on the other hand, flows from your values and your duty to contribute. It's ambition aligned with virtue, justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance. It's sustainable because it doesn't depend on external outcomes for fulfillment. Let me share how this played out in Marcus's life. As emperor, he could have focused on expanding territory, building monuments to his glory, accumulating wealth. Instead, he spent his reign defending the empire's borders, implementing just laws, and writing philosophical reflections that would outlast any marble statue. He famously wrote, "In the morning when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to the work of a human being." Apply this to your own life. When you wake up driven by ego ambition, you're asking, how can I get ahead today? How can I impress people? What can I acquire? These questions create anxiety because the answers depend on factors beyond your control. When you wake up with purpose-driven intention, you ask, how can I contribute today? What problems can I solve? How can I grow in virtue? These questions create peace because the answers lie within your sphere of influence. Take James, an entrepreneur I mentored. He was burning out trying to build the next unicorn startup, working desperately to attract investors and media attention. When he shifted his focus from becoming successful to solving real problems for customers, his business actually grew, but more importantly, he found meaning in the process rather than just the potential outcome. Marcus Aurelius understood that ego ambition is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it's never enough. The validation fades, the achievement loses its luster, and you're back to chasing the next thing. But here's the practical question. How do you distinguish between healthy goals and destructive ambitions in your daily life? First, examine your motivations. Are you pursuing this goal because it aligns with your values or because you want to prove something to others? Marcus regularly practiced this self-examination, writing in his private journal not to be published, but to clarify his own thinking. Second, consider your emotional state during pursuit. Purpose-driven action feels energizing even when challenging. Ego-driven ambition feels frantic, anxious, desperate. If your ambition requires you to compromise your integrity or sacrifice your well-being indefinitely, Marcus would question whether it's truly worth pursuing. Third, evaluate what happens when you achieve or fail to achieve your goal. If success makes you arrogant and failure devastates you, you're probably attached to outcomes beyond your control. Marcus wrote extensively about treating triumph and disaster as imposters, temporary external circumstances that don't define your character. Here's what this looks like practically. Instead of "I must get promoted this year," try "I will do excellent work and develop my skills." Instead of "I need to be famous," try "I will create value for others." Instead of "I must be wealthy," try "I will be generous and wise with resources." The emperor who could have had everything chose simplicity. The man who commanded armies chose philosophy. The ruler who could have built monuments to his ego chose instead to build his character. Marcus Aurelius didn't reject your ambitions because he thought you were wrong to want more from life. He rejected them because he knew that true satisfaction comes not from endless acquisition, but from alignment between your actions and your values. In his final words on this subject, he reminds us, confine yourself to the present. Your ambitions for tomorrow are creating anxiety today. Your regrets about yesterday are stealing peace from this moment. The path forward isn't to abandon all goals, but to choose them wisely. Focus on what's within your control. Act from virtue rather than vanity. Contribute rather than just accumulate. This is how you honor both your potential and your peace. If this perspective on ambition and success resonates with you, subscribe for more insights into how ancient wisdom can transform your modern life. The Emperor's journals are waiting to guide you toward the kind of success that actually satisfies.